When it comes to places like historical ruins, we might think only explorers, historians, and archaeologists would be interested in studying them for research purposes, and that the average person probably wouldn't want to stop there. What is there to see in a place so empty, with ruins everywhere, and even a little scary when the night comes? It's a strange thing that the ruins of Petra in the southern state of present-day Jordan is now a site many visitors to the Middle East wouldn't want to miss. The City of Red Roses is one of the several names given to the city of Petra, and it's hard to imagine why the beautiful mountain city became so desolate. The city of Petra was called Selah in the Old Testament. It was the capital of Edom. Esau, the father of Edomites, and Jacob, the father of Israel, were twins, Esau being the elder brother. According to Genesis chapter 25, one day Esau came home from hunting. He was very hungry and weary. In order to eat the lentil stew that Jacob was cooking, Esau accepted Jacob's offer of stew in exchange for his precious birthright by oath. Therefore, Esau was also called Edom, which means red. Esau had no idea at the time that his contempt for his birthright would bring serious consequences on himself. Although his father Isaac favored Esau, he did not know Esau had done this impulsive thing, and in the end, he was not able to give Esau the blessing of the firstborn before he died, as he had wished. With the help of his mother Rebekah, Jacob deceived his dim-eyed father and received the blessing of the firstborn. Afterwards, Jacob and his descendants inherited God's promise to Abraham to live in the promised land of Canaan forever. As for Esau, Genesis chapter 36, verse 6 says, Esau took his wives and sons and daughters and all the members of his household, as well as his livestock and all the other animals and all the goods he had acquired in Canaan, and moved to a land some distance from his brother Jacob. Esau later moved to Mount Seir on the southeast edge of Canaan. It formerly had been inhabited by the Hori people, whose name means cave dwelling, indicating they liked to live in caves. So why did Esau choose this place? It probably had something to do with his marriage to Oholibamah, daughter of Anna, the daughter of Zibeon, a Hivite. Esau moved to Mount Seir, where his father-in-law lived, and later made it the territory of the kingdom of Edom. And of the sons of Esau came many chief fathers. Before the nation of Israel was established, the kingdom of Edom had had several kings, and they had made the kingdom of Edom strong. According to the book of Obadiah in the Old Testament, we see four things that Edom was proud of. First of all, Edom had a proud dwelling place. The Edomites lived in caves high and steep like eagles nesting on the top of tall tree trunks. They could not be easily reached. Second, Edom had wealth of which it was proud. The passage from outside into Selah, the capital of Edom, was very narrow, and because of the towering mountains on both sides, it was called one line of heaven. And there was a wide square within, which made a perfect trading place, and countless wealth was made for Edom, which was stored in the treasure hall in the mountains. Third, Edom had allies and friends of whom it was proud. The Arabs were descended from Ishmael, who had a daughter married to Esau, and the two peoples became friends. Fourth, Edom was proud of its wise men and warriors. The wise man Eliphaz, who appears in the book of Job, was from Teman, the famous city of Edom. Since Edom had these favorable conditions, why did it fall later? And pride goes before a downfall. Apart from Edom's downfall because of pride, the descendants of Esau have always been enemies of the descendants of Jacob, and therefore sinned against God. When Moses led the Israelites out of Egypt to return to the land of Canaan, he wanted to pass through Edom, but was rejected by the king of Edom. After the Israelites established the kingdom in Canaan, Edom often joined forces with the neighboring nations to fight against the people of God. What was the last and greatest evil the Edomites did? The answer is found in the book of Obadiah in the Old Testament. The Lord rebuked the Edomites through Obadiah the prophet, as recorded in Obadiah chapter 1, verses 12 through 14. You should not gloat over your brother in the day of his misfortune, nor rejoice over the people of Judah in the day of their destruction, nor boast so much in the day of their trouble. You should not march through the gates of my people in the day of their disaster, nor gloat over them in their calamity in the day of their disaster, nor seize their wealth in the day of their disaster. You should not wait at the crossroads to cut down their fugitives, nor hand over their survivors in the day of their trouble. The day of your brother's disaster refers to the day in 586 BC, when the Babylonians sacked Jerusalem and destroyed the kingdom of Judah. Ignoring brotherhood, the Edomites did 8 things they should not have done, which to describe with 8 Chinese idioms are: looking on with folded arms, gloating over others' misfortune, hitting someone when he is down, allying with the victim's enemy, folding one's hands and watching someone die, looting a burning house, cut off others' road of life, and betraying one's brothers. And God, through the prophet Malachi, prophesied against Edom, as noted in the book of Malachi, chapter 1, verse 3. But Esau I have hated, and I have turned his hill country into a wasteland and left his inheritance to the desert jackals. The ruins of Petra that we see today are evidences of the later fulfillment of this prophecy. But the ruins were forgotten for more than 1,000 years until they were discovered by a Swiss explorer in the year 1812. We are convinced that God made it reappear at this time, and there must be a message about it for our generation. Looking back, the things that Esau and his descendants were proud of are very similar to the things many modern-day people boast about. For example, there are superior living conditions, high-tech, rich and powerful country, and so on. May the subsequent decline of Edom and the ruins of Petra remind us not to be proud of what we have now, for God can undo it all. The Edomites showed they did not fear God because they mistreated God's people. Christians are God's people in the New Covenant age and have even become God's children. On the one hand, we thank God for His grace and protection. On the other hand, we must lead a life as God's children that pleases Him. Just as the Apostle Paul has exhorted us in Ephesians chapter 4, verse 1, to live a life worthy of the calling you have received.